The Jets just said up yours to Hard Knocks. Was that the right decision? The wrong decision? Let's get into it on Boy Green Daily. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
What's poppin', everybody? Good morning here on a Tuesday. This is Boy Green Daily. My name is Paulison Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Training camp, the Jets report tomorrow, baby. Things are in the air. But before we get to all that, there's some more drama to get into with this Hard Knock situation. And today's guest, come on, he's one of the best in the friggin' business. Richie of Jets Media. Look at that handsome devil joining us here early in the morning. Appreciate it, pal.
What's up, Paul? Good morning to everybody in the chat. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's true, and won't be the last time, I'm sure. So let's give you guys the latest in case you missed it yesterday. Yesterday morning, Adam Schefter joined Get Up, and he laid some details. You guys can find the Twitter video and everything else down below so you can follow along with today's show. But long story short, the Jets are letting Hard Knocks come in because they have no other choice. However, they're going to try to limit access. And perhaps one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle is refusing straight up for HBO Hard Knocks to record players getting cut at the end of the show. One of the last episodes of the final roster cuts, they called it, quote unquote, inhumane. So the Jets will refuse to do a lot of these things. Again, Hard Knocks are going to be there no matter what, but they're going to refuse a lot of that access. And we put out our poll of the day, whether or not you agree or disagree with the decision. I'll throw it over to you, Richie, first to get us started here. What was your reaction to that Schefter video/report?
Yeah, I love it. I think it tells us that this New York Jets organization is doing what's best for their players. They're protecting their own because they know that Hard Knocks likes to spin a little drama. And I'm sure a lot of Jets fans, their first instincts of when we found out we are definitely going to be on Hard Knocks was, wow, we'd better get Quinn Williams extended as soon as possible because that's going to be the head storyline. Luckily, that is in the rear view window. We don't have to worry about that. The Jets got the Quinn Williams deal done. Thank you, Joe Douglas. We appreciate you. But I think that, not allowing Hard Knocks to get all the access that they're usually getting shows you where this organization is because they're really standing on their ground. They do not want Hard Knocks. We have One Jets Drive, who, by the way, was a 19 Emmy Award winner or nomination, rather. So One Jets Drive Productions, we get the greatest, behind the scenes look to the point where now we're going to be spoiled, Paul. We're going to have Hard Knocks and One Jets Drive on back-to-back days. It's going to be pretty wild. But I think that the Jets are doing what's best for their players, and they're showing that they can really stand up to the NFL and not really get all the behind the scenes and spin the drama because the Jets have a really big season ahead of them, and they do not want all this distraction from the Hard Knocks, basically. And I love it.
All right, I'm going to be honest, Richie. I'm going to have a different take on this, but I'd love to have a back and forth about it.
Absolutely.
So, in my opinion, I feel like, that's not my opinion. First off, Hard Knocks is just coming. Like, they're going to be there. Whether the Jets wanted them or not, they're there. Like, the NFL has forced that decision. So, in my opinion, all of this hoopla, we'll call it, they're kicking and screaming. They're throwing a tantrum. Like, no matter what they say, like, sure, they can take out the cuts part, but, like, Hard Knocks going to be in the building. Their cameras are going to be there. So, like, to me, I feel like I want to go back to the beginning when Hard Knocks and all the rumors. The only way I thought Hard Knocks could be a distraction for the Jets is if they allowed it to be a distraction. If they considered it a distraction. If they just spit out the Robert Saleh quote, keep the main thing, then okay, they're filming. You can film me all you want. We're going to keep doing our thing. But now with all of these, hey, you're not going to film this. You're not going to do this. I just feel like that's creating a distraction within itself. Just focus on your crap. They're going to be there. Stop whining and complaining about it. Just let's get on with the process. Your reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see where you're coming from. I think that the Jets were fighting and really standing on their toes to try to not be on Hard Knocks for a long time because usually Hard Knocks is announced all the way where? In March, April, when they're going to do which team. And it's obvious that the NFL has been fighting with the Jets for months and months and months. And I think a big reason for it is because they're very content with the content that they produce themselves in-house. So they didn't need Hard Knocks. So us Jets fans get exactly what Hard Knocks is going to bring with One Jets Drive. So that's why they were fighting for it. And they wanted to say, you know what? One Jets Drive is very respectful. They're used to having cameras on them, and they don't really, do this type of things that Hard Knocks does, try to spin drama and try to get the really, really behind-the-scenes stuff of, cutting players and, creating all these things. So they want to say, you know what, if you're going to do Hard Knocks, and as Aaron Rodgers said, force it down our throats, we're going to give you some guidelines and say you're not going to be able to get certain access because we do not want this to be a distraction. And I personally, when I heard the Jets being on Hard Knocks, my first instinct was, wow, this Jets team is going to be, the cameras are going to be on them 10 times the amount because One Jets Drive is great for us Jets fans, but what Hard Knocks does is it brings the Jets into the national scope, and the fact that they are saying that they don't want certain access, of course, it's going to add more to the narrative of, the Jets are really trying to protect their own players, and now Aaron Rodgers is the reason for it, and they're already seeing narratives being spun on this already, and it's going to be the reality of this season. So get used to it, guys. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. And it's just whatever the Jets do, it's going to create some talk, whether it's good or bad for the whole season.
That's probably true no matter what. Again, we will see when Robert Saleh ultimately ends up speaking this week. But I imagine now there's going to be a dozen questions on this Hard Knocks thing and their decision to do all these things that Adam Schefter claims that they're going to be doing, which, again, to me, creating more questions about that stuff just seems to add some extra mustard to the sandwich. But let's go back to something you said that we're going to be spoiled because, of course, for those who don't know, One Jets Drive debuts on Monday, August 7th. HBO Hard Knocks debuts on Tuesday, August 8th. By the way, Jets, I already know we've done this a few times, but wink, I see what you did there. I love the petty. Juicy. I respect it. But let me ask you, with that same thing, One Jets Drive is going to be obviously continuing this in-house Jets documentary. So the Jets' perspective, of course, from things. Hard Knocks is the national perspective. So I believe different stories are going to be told on different shows, which is great for us, both content creators and Jet fans, because we're going to get different looks at the team. And let's embrace this. That's what my suggestion would be to the Jets. Just embrace it because at the end of the day, this is going to be a special season. If we all believe it's going to be the special season it's going to believe, then let's get as much documentation and as much coverage of it as possible, because if they end up winning this whole gosh darn thing, I think we're going to be pretty happy in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I also think, the positive to the Jets being on Hard Knocks, Paul, is this Jets team is already being talked about across the NFL world, right? And we have 5 to 6 primetime games, if you consider that Black Friday game a primetime game, which I'm going to do. They have to get used to having the pressure on. They have to get used to the eyes being on them. And I think being on Hard Knocks is a really good test and a really good preparation for this team mentally to get an idea of okay, every week the whole world's watching what we're doing and talking about what we're doing, and there's going to be haysayers, there's going to be haters, there's going to be people loving what we're doing, and they got to get used to mentally the idea of the pressure of the whole NFL world watching them, because we start week 1, Monday Night Football. I mean, the whole world's watching that. Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs in week number 4. So I think it's a good preparation and a good mentality check for the youth and the veterans to get really an idea of what it's like to be in the national scope, because to be honest, this Jets team is not used to that, right? We're used to being that team that's supposed to, exceed expectations, and we're trying to force our ways to convince ourselves to have hope. Well, there's reasons to have hope this year, and the NFL sees the hope that we have with Aaron Rodgers. So that's the one spin that I have in a positive way for the Jets being on Hard Knocks, to really prepare that team mentally to be in the national scope.
It's an astute observation, Richie. Again, we're speaking of Richie of Jets Gosh Darn Media, baby. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, and also hit up my boy Richie for all his amazing content he has on his channel. So, doing a Quinnen Williams jersey giveaway. What's happening over there?
Yeah, Paul, I'm doing a Quinnen Williams jersey giveaway, and right when I announced it, I noticed that the Quinnen Williams jerseys are completely sold out. So, definitely going to try my best to get that Quinnen Williams jersey and announce that winner right before the season begins, because, I wanted to get my own Quinnen Williams jersey, but I don't blame Jets fans. Right when he gets extended, everyone's buying his jersey. But yeah, whenever that does become available and I can purchase that jersey for the winner, I'm going to select it. And to enter to win, you can check out my social media, Twitter and Instagram at NYJets_media.
Again, Richie's a popular guy. He knows that guy who knows that guy. My God, this guy could get you that jersey, Richie. So we could figure that thing out if and when needs to happen. So, guys, make sure you enter that contest here shortly. And going back to this real quick so we can put a bow on this Hard Knock stuff, and then we'll get into some other topics here. I think that's a great point that you made, because you mentioned the primetime games, which, by the way, of course, the Black Friday game counts. For all those people out there, they're like, technically the 3 o'clock, and it's a standalone game, so shut the hell up, whoever you are out there. So you're having this attention. Aaron Rodgers is bringing the attention, and every move you make is going to be scrutinized. It's going to be magnified, Hard Knocks or no Hard Knocks. So quite frankly, trying to embrace the hurt, as we say, like in the football training way back in the day, is like, if you embrace this and try to make the most of it, if you kick and scream and refuse, like, I think about it this way, Richie, if I want to give you a hug, I open up my arms, say, come on in, brother, bring it on in. Okay. But if you want to refuse and say, no, I don't want this, it's like you're attacking, you're throwing your arms out there. You're trying to prevent. You need to be open, people. You need to open up the arms and just embrace. Bring it in. Bring in a nice virtual hug there. Wrap your arms around, and let's make this happen. I think, again, that should be the key. That's what should be the Jets. I don't want Robert Saleh to be answering Hard Knocks questions because of some drama. I want him to just be answering, hey, who's that underrated guy here, or positional battle here? I mean, that's really at the crux of it, what we all want to get into, which, again, we're Boy Green Daily live right now on a Tuesday on July 18th. July 19th tomorrow. Jets players are reporting for camp. Football is here. The energy is palpable, Richie. It's palpable.
Finally, it's here, Paul. Tomorrow is training camp opening up, and I think Jets fans should just embrace Hard Knocks just as much as we're embracing the season, because, again, like you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Paul, if this season is as magical and as special as we're hoping, we want this whole thing documented, man. And the fact that we're going to have 2 different storylines to follow in training camp with One Jets Drive and Hard Knocks really shows us that this team is going to have a lot of buzz, whether it's going to crash and burn or it's going to be one of the most magical seasons of my lifetime, which it will be, manifesting that, Paul. And it's going to be exciting, man. So Jets fans, embrace this. This is a time for us to be excited and hyped. Don't allow any other rival fan base or any other fan trying to tell us, like, oh, Jets fans are way too hyped right now. We have every single reason to be excited. And let it soak in, baby, because this team's ready to take flight.
Yes, they are. Let's get into our Jet schedule. So we have a Jet schedule prediction contest. All the details down below, and we will give you the winner of this contest, a Jets jersey of your choice at the end of the campaign, if you are correct. And our buddy here, Jets Media, Richie, submitted his schedule prediction. Now, before we get into the full thing, I want to get into a slice and also to another story we have in here. You have the Jets starting off 4-2 with losses in Week 4 against the Chiefs and Week 6 against the Eagles. Of course, the 2 representatives in the Super Bowl. So you believe they're going to get off to as hot of a start as you could relatively get at 4-2, Richie. Is that correct?
Yeah, the one thing that I believe is the reason why the Jets could get off to a hot start is because of Aaron Rodgers' connection with Nathaniel Hackett and his understanding of the offense. Because I think that the fact that Aaron Rodgers is not having to learn a brand new offense is getting underlooked by some. If you look at Russell Wilson last year, a lot of people are comparing the Jets to the Broncos and the Jets going to crash like the Broncos. Russell Wilson had to learn a whole new offense. You know what it's like for a veteran quarterback to be in the league and be in their prime and then having to learn a whole new thing? It's like they're a rookie quarterback all over again. Well, guess what? Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to do that. So right out of the gate, he's got his guys in Alan Lazard. He's got Randall Cobb. He's got people he's familiar with. He's developing chemistry with Garrett Wilson. And I think that with Nathaniel Hackett there in the system already, the offense is going to be ready to go. And we know what this defense is capable of. It's really that offense that is going to take this Jets team over the hump or not. So that's the reason why I think this Jets team has a chance to get out of the gate screaming and start off 4-2 heading into the bye.
All right, let's get into, we have articles down below. That's why I wanted to launch with that question in our Jets flight itinerary program. There was a former Aaron Rodgers teammate, not sure if you saw this, Richie, Greg Jennings said, the Jets are getting off to a 1-5 start. And not only did he say that, Bleacher Report recently picked out 6 teams that they believe are set to have quote-unquote disastrous starts to the season, and they predicted 2-4. What do you say to Bleacher Report? What do you say to Greg Jennings, a longtime teammate of Aaron Rodgers, 1-5? What do you say about the haters heading into the season, raising serious questions about how the Jets are going to start this thing?
Heard that one before. Huh? Last year? Who remembers? What were we? 0-9 to start off? People were projecting.
Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn had the Jets going 0-9. It was going viral. And the Jets' schedule last year was brutal to start off. Like, it's the same exact narrative they're trying to push. And the one thing I have to say to everybody is you guys have to realize that when the Jets are going to be at this level of a lot of people praising us because we are this hyped, is going to come with just as much hate. So welcome the hate just as much as we welcome the good, because when we are doing something right, that means there's going to be players and fans and media people that are going to try to bring us down. And that's the reality of the situation. So there's obviously going to be people that's going to question the Jets and say, you know what, I don't believe in the hype. I don't think they're going to be able to start off hot. They're going to go 1-5. Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Yeah, they're all going to say those things. It's just up to the New York Jets to really, stick to their roots and get to their foundation. Because remember, Paul, last year, the Jets had a fantastic start. And what was Robert Saleh's mantra right when the season finished? Finish. That's it.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to that narrative of finishing in the fourth quarter, finishing every single day in training camp, and of course, finishing at the end of the season, because if the Jets finished last season strong, we would be in the playoffs. So this is where the Jets have to get off to a strong start all over again and finish strong. And I think that all the people saying they're going to start off 1-5 and they're not believing it, it's expected. Totally expected. And I think it's up to the Jets to really prove them wrong.
And let's go to your very theme of your schedule prediction in our contest. So I mentioned starting hot, 4-2. When I look at the end, you have them on a 3-game winning streak. You also have them winning, six of their last 7, and their final record is 12-5. You told me before the show, as we did a quick pre-production chat, that this is the same schedule prediction you made when the schedule initially came out. Why did you decide to stick to your guns? Did anything change over that time that may have swayed you one way or the other to be a little more optimistic or pessimistic based on what you've seen over the last handful of months?
Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was the Jets quarterback already when the schedule came out, and I just went with my instincts. And I think that I'm a really intuitive guy, and I think that based off what I saw and I looked at the schedule, this is my prediction. I think that this schedule is perfect for the Jets. I know some people are crying. It's like, oh, the schedule's so hard. Oh, no. Well, I personally love it being hard up front. Let this team be tested right out of the gate. And then it gets easy at the end. I mean, that's how I don't want to say easy, because every NFL game is tough no matter who you're playing. Whether you're playing the Texans or the Chiefs, it's going to be a tough game every single week. But I like getting tested early. Give us the Chiefs. Give us the Eagles. Give us the Bills all up front. And then at the back end of the schedule, it kind of lightens up the load. So that's why I think the Jets can really finish off strong, because they can really find their identity, find their character, get all those kinks and bruises out of the way, and then really get some momentum heading into the postseason, hopefully.
All right, Jet fans, this is our final play as we wrap up this show. We have 50 Jet fans that have entered the contest thus far, and the number keeps growing every single day that we do this. So I can only recommend it if you haven't already. You're missing out on the party. Jets Media, Gunny Gumby, everybody's in there. We want you in there as well. So again, details in the link down below. All you have to do is tell us who the Jets beat, who they will lose to, and your final regular season record prediction. If you nail it, for instance, Richie put it in here, if the schedule goes exactly how he has it, winning this week, losing this week, winning this week, he will automatically win the contest. It's over, baby, and he will get the Jets jersey of his choice. However, if he's wrong on the order, but still has the 12-5 record, right, then he and anyone else who predicted 12-5 will be thrown into a raffle, drawn out to pick the winner. Guys, it's free to enter. We get to talk some Jets in the comments. It's I don't know how else to sell it, baby, but get that free Jets jersey. 50 Jet fans already in there. We want 50 more, 100 more. We want them all more. And this contest runs through Thursday, September 7th before the season. Richie, thanks for joining it. It's about damn time we've had you on the program, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again very soon, brother.
Paul, had a blast coming on here early in the AM. Thanks for having me on, and definitely want to get you on my show sometime soon. Yeah. Training camp opens up tomorrow. Everybody in the chat, do me a favor right now. Hit that freaking thumbs up button for my man Paul. He does a fantastic job covering the New York Jets. It's been a pleasure to watch you grow as a reporter of the Jets. Your channel's doing great. Your Twitter's doing great. Your socials are doing awesome. So keep up the great work. As a fellow Jets content creator myself, it's a pleasure to watch you do what you do, Paul. You do a fantastic job, and you bring a really unique twist and a unique flair to the Jets community. So continue to do what you do. Let's go, Jets. Jets fans in the chat, let's get freaking hyped up because Jets training camp is here, baby. Let's go.
And one more for you, Richie. I love the flair word. I want to try to get that more used into my daily vernacular. But let people know where they can hit you up, man. I want to continue to spread the love. That's another point of this Boy Green Daily Show is to continue to spread it. So let everybody know where they can hit you up on social.
Yeah, at NYJets_media on Twitter and Instagram and Threads, if you're even on there. Forgot that's a thing. And, of course, on Twitter. And on YouTube at Jets Media. I've been doing training camp opens up tomorrow, so it's gonna be daily content, daily live streams. I'm gonna create a brand new structure and a brand new content schedule to really get going for the season. It's gonna be really, really exciting. Have a lot of fun events planned as well for this upcoming season, so stay tuned. Cannot wait. This is gonna be a magical season, Jets fans. Buckle up.
Spicy from Richie from Jets Media, baby. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30